guys, so we are working on the uni. I got a few things to do on this before I can get it up and running. And one is putting in the gas tank, which I have right over here. Now I have this angle iron. I'm going to make a frame for the gas tank and set that right back into place where the original Crown Vic used to have it. I'm going to probably bring it up a little bit higher because I've got this bar that goes right across, this bar right over here, goes right across my fenders, to my fenders to stabilize them. And then I have a few braces. This one I got to do yet. And this side as well, got to get that brace attached to the frame. And that's about it. And I got to wire it. I'm going to try a different column. So the original column is in here, but as you can see, I could fix it. But do I want it that low into my lap? Probably not. So I do have a column here I'm going to try. Right there. And it is a column shift. And the whole bit, it's from a Cougar actually. There's a car that came onto Keith's yard. It was used for a derby car, and so there wasn't much good in it anymore. I got a wiring harness I gotta try and splice together, but I'll figure out what everything is, and hopefully we'll be able to put it together with that. I think that'll be a little nicer, plus I have the column shift in there. Otherwise I'll have to put a shifter on the floor if I use this column. I really didn't want to do that in this truck. I wanted to keep a column shift. It's going to look a little newer, but it's not the big bulky one from the Crown Victoria. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep this one. It's just trying to find one that has the column shift in it is a little tough. So that's it. I got that fan to mount. It's a fan shroud. We'll see if I can mount the shroud. I may have to make my own shroud yet. I'm gonna have my wiring harness in that bucket right there. Yeah, so here we go. I play that game for hours, and I don't know, in this heat, he has got to be hot. He's a hot one today in Manitoba. So anyway, what you saw me doing was fitting the tank. So I made this frame out of angle iron. I welded it in, welded these joints up, and welded it in so that. And I stood on here and I jumped on it actually, and it ain't moving. I'm not worried about this tank coming out, and I'm 230 pounds. If it ain't gonna fall out from that, the tank ain't gonna fall out. Not with me jumping on it. So that's what I got done for today. It's a hot one. I'm gonna head inside, cool off a little bit. We'll start again tomorrow. We'll do some more tomorrow. Probably put the tank in, hook it up, spray paint it first. Then I gotta fix some of the floor. But what I'll show you some of the things that I did to this guy before or after day 2 of of assembling it. I'll show you a little bit. Hasn't been a whole lot, but it's been some. Be right back. Okay guys, I'm gonna hear some of the things that I've done. So that floorboard was pretty rotten out, and I made a new piece to put in there. And this piece, that is actually cut out from the other side of the cab, the step. So I cut that piece out, flipped it upside down, and put it in here. Now that is as much room as I needed to make sure that the cab would fit over the frame. It is about 2 inches. It isn't that much, but it's just enough. Now I know some guys, what they were doing was they were notching out the frames, putting more metal into the frame, welding it in, and then putting a brace on the back end. I don't want to mess with the frame, guys. I'm sure it's strong, but they've changed it, and I don't want to play with that. I want this thing to be solid. I'd rather have the step over here than play around with cutting into the frame at all. So this is what I did. Some of the floor pieces that I had to put in, I know it's kind of dark in here. This piece right over here, this was all rotten out, so I've redone that. I've also, inside here where the pedal was right in this area over here, and that spot needed to be patched up because I'm not using any of that. So that's also been put in there and closed up. Now you can see right along this edge right over here, that's where my new cab mounts mounted, along with at the bottom here and up the side. They mounted along there, and that's what's holding the front of the cab up, and it's solid. I also had to patch where the shifter went. Can't really see it there. I don't think I have it welded in yet. That's something that's coming. I'll show you the other side. I'll show you this exactly the same way. So I've just added the piece from the other side right into there. This step was okay, so I could use it. I do have to fix that corner, and I'm gonna create a piece that goes right inside of there. I've already started one, but that one didn't fit quite well enough, so I'm gonna start over and make a new one. That's some of the stuff. There are floor pieces in there as well that I've also done, but I got a bunch of stuff lying over there. I'll show you under the hood. So this is the engine inside the chassis, inside the cab of the truck. And so I think I'm going to be able to put my battery right there. I think it's going to work out nicely. I have the inners for them. They're in the back of the truck. I'm going to put those back in there. And then I can mount all my pieces on the side. I'd like to have the cruise control work, but we'll see what happens with that. Not quite sure what's all required to get that working. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today, guys. I'll be back at it again tomorrow. Hey guys, we're back. So you saw me in that first clip. What I was doing was I was cutting a little bit of metal off the frame that I put in there yesterday. It's just a little high on the one side. The other side seemed fine, and through measuring and everything, I must have cut one maybe just a little bit longer. I'll show you. So that piece right over there was a little high. So I just chopped a little bit off that just to make sure that my floor can fit on here, because this bar, that is my floor level. Now, the reason why I put that bar on, it raises the floor up another 2 inches, 2.5 inches. But I wanted to make sure that this thing had enough stability. So I have 6 mounting points. I have 2 right there, and on the other side, these 2 here, and then I have these 2 over there, right over there. And so now I just painted this so I can get ready to install the tank. I'm gonna lift up the truck now, and I'm gonna get under the floor. Now, when I was doing some of the floor patches and some of that stuff, I didn't have the lift, so I couldn't fix the floor from underneath. Now that's the plan. I'm gonna lift up the truck. I can grind off all the little nubbies and stuff like that from welding, and clean it up and put some paint on there so it can last a little longer. Okay, so you see me taking out a cross member. As you can see, the one I took out is very rotten. Now, I thought I had 2 cross members or extra that were exactly the same. Now, the mounts are in the same place. They are, the 2 that I had are a little different than the other one. I think it'll still work. I'm gonna try the bolt through there. I need to make the holes a little bit bigger, because as you can see, that one bolt hole right there is bigger than these 2 over here. So I'll try the bolt through it, see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll have to auger it out a little more just to make it work. So that's what's gonna go in next. So you saw me put the new trans member in, trans cross member. I was a little bit of a headache, but the other one was a little bit bigger. So I had to take off the hangers for the exhaust so I could bring the exhaust down far enough so I could bring the cross member up and over the exhaust and in between the transmission. And then it fit in great. The bolt holes that I put in there worked. And I got the floor done. Got the floors underneath painted and seam sealed. And I got this in. This is the filler. This isn't the final rendition yet because my floor is going to come up to this level here, and as you can see, it's got to come down a little bit more yet. I like it to be flush with the floor, and then I'll just tie it in with these screws right over here. I don't have this connected up to this hose yet, which I'll do. Yeah, so I got a fair amount done today. Tomorrow is going to be trying to fit the bumper, and I don't think I have the front end of the truck mounted yet, and that's going to come with the front cross member that I want to put in so I can mount the bumper. So that's going to be tomorrow's project. All right, later. So the front bumper's on. I saved you all the grief of watching me do that because that was not fun. I had it hanging up there by a tarp strap for a little while, but this is what I ended up doing. So this long bar right along here, that holds up the rad support and the front clip. That's attached by the factory mounting hardware up there. And then those brackets, the ones right there and right here, they attach to the frame. Pretty solid stuff. And then these mount from this rad control, or rad support, all the way to the bumper. And these are the original brackets that were on the truck. So I just took those off the frame and mounted them right on here. I did none of the finishing welds. I am not a great welder at the thick stuff, so Keith did all that. Thanks, Keith. And he's fixing up a carb right now for his square body 4x4. Anyway, that's what it looks like. I figured I'd just go and do it rather than sit here and explain exactly what I had to do and then try and make this all work on camera. It's a lot easier to do it just without everybody watching. Anyway, that's it for the bumper, and that's all for today. I am done. I've done my cleanup work, and it's time to go home, cool off a little bit. It was a way nicer day today, but I am still hot and sweaty. So anyway, I'll try and take some pictures outside and put it up right here. I'll show you what the bumper looks like on the truck.